Hello and welcome to SoCo 14, the show about the news happening on and around Southern Campus. I'm Quinn O'Neill.
And I'm Zach. Coming up, we have a look at the state budget crisis is already hitting the campus. We'll get frisky with the sex education campaign and a look ahead at the upcoming baseball season.
But first, Southern shuttle buses are raising concerns for students going to and from class. The shuttle bus stop near Wintergreen especially.
Students say that after their difficult commute to class, the shuttle service is slowing them down. Here is Aisha Jackson on the scene.
It's Aisha Jackson here, and we're here at the Wintergreen shuttle stop where students have been having concerns about how the shuttle has been running. We're going to look into some of the concerns that the students have been having and really get to the bottom of what's causing these issues. Few students we talked to said their biggest concerns is about the shuttles being late and not showing up on time. Many students don't know that they can track the shuttles on an app, either through the SCSU or the SmartTracks app. We use the apps and realize that the apps are misleading. It's just a map that shows the shuttle stops, not where the shuttles are in real time. We reached out to the shuttle company. They stated the shuttles have GPS tracking technology, but the university has yet paid for the services to be activated. We reached out to the university, but they had no comment. These concerns seem to be real problems for the students here at Southern Connecticut. Will they be heard? This is Aisha Jackson. Back to you.
Southern's current president has been in position since summer of 2016, but he was never inaugurated. That will change when President Joe Bernalino officially becomes an owl Friday, April 28th. The event will be held at the Lyman Center and is free to everyone. President Joe, as he is known around campus, is encouraging everyone to share this moment with him. He will be the university's 12th president.
The new president will have to deal with the state budget crisis. Connecticut State College and University President Marco Jakin announced a hiring freeze on the schools in the CSCSU system, including Southern. Josh Felkin has the reaction on campus.
President Ojakian has initiated a hiring freeze across all 17 campuses of the CSCU college system. In a statement, Ojakian said, "These spending control measures are necessary given our projected cut of $25 million for the next fiscal year. We must be strategic given our limited resources." Communications major Palmer Payana sees the good in the hiring freeze.
I believe that it's actually kind of an important wake-up call for the school. Connecticut's budget, and compared to other states, is a very large percent, the school that goes towards education. And I really believe that it's an important wake-up call that just because they have all of this money and they have these kind of funds that they can just be spending it wherever they want. I think it's going to really make them take a good hard look at the budget, see which are needed expenditures and ones that are more frivolous or unneeded. And I think it's more sending a message to the administration, sending a message to just the school in general that they need to be more responsible with the way they're spending their money.
Journalism major Alex Palmieri also agrees with the hiring freeze.
I think it's good just because we're short 4% of the budget, which is like $25 million. So it's good that we do have a hiring freeze, but it kind of it's not beneficial to people who need jobs as well. But I see why it's going on in the state because we need to get our money right before we can, kind of go any further.
With Southern in the middle of a provost search and the finalists' recent visits to the campus, I reached out to Diane Mazza, Chief Human Resources Officer, to find out what the freeze means for the search. In a statement, she said, "We are reviewing the hiring freeze and the impact it will have on the campus pending more detail. At this time, I have no comment." So it seems that there is a wave of uncertainty over campus on just how drastic the fallout will be from the latest hiring freeze. This is Josh Falcone reporting.
With Black History Month coming to a close, the Multicultural Center hosted a luncheon in Cannes. This past week serving soul food and cuisine. Live music was performed by the Caribbean Vibe Steel Drum Band performing Black Heritage Spirituals. This was the band's 6th year at Southern, spreading messages of love and happiness through island vibrations. Come check out the band again this upcoming spring as they play festive reggae on the quad.
To be able to master the art form of making rhythm with your feet takes time and practice. Tia Russell's dance studio, located in a nearby campus in Woodbridge, offers lessons. Kayla Larson brings us Tonya Howard, the tap teacher, in her own words.
Tanya Elaine Howard.
5, 6, ready,
Teaching tap since 1993. to me is it's like making rhythms with your feet. Using tap shoes, which have metal bottoms on the toe and the heel. So you make different sounds and rhythms with your feet. That's my version of it. So I basically think of a sound, or I try to make sounds with my feet. Having my own kind of style of tap.
The Delta Phi Epsilon sorority will be hosting a fashion show for charity. The event will be spreading awareness of eating disorders, and donations will benefit the National Association of Anorexia Nervosa and Associated Disorders. The fashion show is March 3rd at 7 p.m. in the Student Center Ballroom.
A Boogie with the Hoodie will be boogieing on down to Southern this coming April. Tickets have sold out online, but students are able to purchase them at the door for $10 a piece. The concert will be held Saturday, April 22nd at 6 p.m. on the Academic Quad.
Southern's Health and Wellness Center has been hosting Frisky February events on campus. Our very own DJ Johnson covered the most recent event, 50 Shades of Blue. Here he is with the story.
The Wellness Center has hosted sex education events here on campus throughout the month of February.
Frisky February is just a month long of sex-positive events. Sex-positive meaning putting a positive spin on talking about sex.
And throughout the month of February, the Wellness Centers hosted these events in order to get students talking about sex and personal sexual health. The month has been full of sex-positive events, which inform students of the resources available on campus.
So the Conemaugh is an all-new delivery service, free delivery service, and basically students can go online onto the Wellness Center's page and they click on a Google form and they fill it out. It's completely anonymous and confidential, aside from who it goes to, which is the Conemaugh. This event here is 50 Shades of Blue, and it's basically a series of minute-to-minute games that have a little sexy twist. So they can have fun, but again, learn more information and get awesome free giveaways as well.
This wasn't the only event hosted on campus. Fun and informative games like sex trivia were promoted by the Wellness Center, who worked in partnership with the Sage Center.
So Sage Center is the Sexuality and Gender Equality Center. So we talk a lot about, with the Wellness Center and kind of with health services, like sex-positive programming, specifically with certain demographics that might be more at risk.
The organizations are hoping to get students more active in their sexual health. The Conemaugh and this open month of sexual positivity is a good place to start. I'm DJ Johnson, back to you.
Now let's take a look at the busy sports season Southern's been having with Megan.
Thank you, and we begin with two celebrations for the Owls. Southern just had two teams crowned Northeast 10 champs. The men's indoor track and field team won for the 12th year in a row. Captains Dieter Gutbrod, Luke Velez, Taquan Johnson, and Yakubu Ibrahim led the team to victory. Also winning big was Southern's women's swimming and diving team led by coaches Tim Quill and CJ Moran. On to basketball now. Scott Burrell led Southern all the way to a Division II NCAA tournament berth in his first season as the Owls head men's basketball coach. Last year, but it was short-lived. Southern fell to St. Thomas Aquinas 92-90 out at Holy Family University in the tournament's opening round. Now this year, coming into the Northeast 10 Conference tournament, the Owls held a 17-11 record. Sunday, they traveled to St. Anselm College up in Manchester, New Hampshire, and lost 87-74. With winter sports wrapping up and spring sports just on the horizon, reporter Tyler Ferrara shines a light on an early season for the Southern baseball led by senior captains Cole Bryant and Greg Zullo.
With the season just beginning, Tim Shea and the Fighting Owls look to improve on last year's 16-25 record. They'll look to Cole Bryant, a starting pitcher senior class who already got started off with a complete game shutout against Bentley.
Head coach Tim Shea hopes that the team will rebound after a tough season last year.
The talent was there. We had some injuries, lost 17 games by 2 or fewer runs. We learned a lot. We were young. From the get-go, the guys really have been motivated to do well, working extremely hard. We talked about changing the culture, doing things the right way, attention to details. And that's kind of where we are right now. I mean, we had a pretty good weekend this past weekend. Great leadership from the veteran guys.
This guy has
Senior Cole Bryant and freshman Nate Carney will lead the pitching staff for the Owls with a little help from Jake Santamaria and Austin Darrow.
I could do the job, keep the games close for us, keep our offense in the games, through the 6th or 9th inning and just do the job, shut the other team down instead of, losing those games.
The Owls were ranked 11th at a preseason poll by the NE10 coaches and open at home March 3rd against Post University. From Just Outfield, I'm Tyler Farrar.
That's our look at Southern sports. Let's send it back over to the news desk.
Thanks, Megan. That wraps up our look at the Southern sports and news around campus. I'm Quinn O'Neill.
And I'm Zach Beaulieu. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on SoCo 14 News.